Every day is different, but some days you find yourself at the auction with John Ross loading up an old electric scooter onto a trailer. I'm sure you've seen this thing on his channel, but this is a 2008 Vectrix VX1, and I hope that his diesel F250 Super Duty is actually going to be able to handle this thing, because, you know, that's a lot of weight on there. All right, John Ross and I got this thing back to my house, and here it is in my garage. It's been a few days. It's been sitting on John Ross's charger. I don't have very high hopes for that charging setup. It is the correct voltage, but given the way that nickel metal hydrate batteries work, that's not really, I don't believe it's going to work very well to bring back a battery that's sad like this. Something interesting that I noticed now that I've actually bought this thing is this is brand new. This has never been registered. It came with a manufacturer certificate of origin, which might make registering it a bit of a pain when we eventually get this on the road, but there are some very interesting notes that I saw in the paperwork. This is a 2008 Vectrix, I think, 2008? They sold it in 2016, or 2014. So this thing sat at Biker's Edge for probably a decade. And I bet you the battery was pretty unhappy by the time it was actually sold, and so that's probably why this thing was barely ridden. Originally this would have had 40 to 60 miles of range, so this has probably done less than 3 charging cycles in its whole life. That battery is probably toast. It's a nickel metal hydrate battery similar to what was in my Honda Insight when it was new. Actually, this runs at the same voltage but a higher density. This has a lot more energy storage capacity than the Honda did. And something interesting about nickel metal hydrate, they're actually really cool batteries. There's a good reason why Toyota still uses them in the Prius, I think. I know the last generation Prius were all nickel metal hydrate except for the plug-in one, and I think that might still be the case, or they finally switched to all lithium. But nickel metal hydrate is very, very stable compared to lithium ion. They don't explode as readily, like you could cut them, I think. You know, you'll get normal battery things, like if you short them out, they'll get hot and try to catch nearby things on fire. But they're not going to explode. Like if you overcharge them, they don't explode, they just heat up. So what you can actually do to balance one of these battery packs is what's called float charging, or soak grid charging, which was very common in the Honda Insight world. These don't have battery management systems, which on a lithium battery pack, a battery manager will, there's a few different ways they work, but mostly they'll just detect a cell that is overcharging, and they'll connect it to a lower voltage cell so that it can charge that cell up and deplete itself. And it does that a bunch, and so all of the different cell levels even out, and you end up with a much happier pack. If your pack is out of balance, say one cell is a little bit lower than the others, you just charge the whole thing up, and then when they hit their max charge, you just keep charging it. And then the ones that are already charged will just dissipate the extra energy as heat, and the ones that aren't fully charged will just keep charging up, and then you have an evenly charged battery pack. I don't think these chargers, the charger that John Ross put in here gets quite high enough to actually do that last part. So this is probably getting charged up to the point where some of the cells are charged up and some of the cells are still down here, and so then as soon as you start to drive it, these cells will dip down and just dump the whole pack, because this thing, you know, you saw it barely make it down his street. I don't know how far it'll make it down my street. It's been sitting on this for quite a while, so I intend on finding that out. But the reason the main charger doesn't work is, as John Ross noted, there were a bunch of burnt out thermistors on the battery. I did some reading, and that's actually really, really common on these. I think I can flash different software to the charger that doesn't use those thermistors, which is a little sketchy, because then you don't really have the safety of, you know, shutting off the battery when it gets hot. But this battery is not going to be in here for very long. This is getting lithium swapped. Lithium swapping these is so easy that in forum threads I was looking at, people were more concerned with the logistics of lifting the battery than they were with the actual mechanics of swapping them out. The factory software to get into these and tweak them is available. I have somewhere. I have bought the cable to do so. Where the hell did I put it? I also purposely haven't really watched John Ross's videos on this because I kind of wanted to explore it myself and figure things out. So let's explore this real quick and take a look at a few things, and then we'll see how far we can get on the stock battery. Because if I brick it with, when I hook my laptop up, I still want to have ridden it a little bit, because I don't know, thing's pretty neat. So this is a maxi scooter. It is effectively a step-through motorcycle, sort of in the line of a Suzuki Bergman or a Honda Silverwing. Big, touring, top speed around 65. You have a trunk, not as much storage as you usually get in a maxi scooter because of all the electric powertrain that's in here. One feature I really love is how they just used a tension spring as a prop, because they want to be straight, and then that holds this up, and then you just buckle it to put it down. You've got the charging cable, you've got John Ross's charger and stuff in here. Cool. It came with the manual, which is mostly other languages. Doesn't really have, there's not a lot to say in there. You've got a hub motor, you've got Brembos, he said all that. LED tail lights, pretty neat. The controls up front, you've got the keys, you've got the glove box. In the glove box, sorry, they call it the sunglasses box, but in there you have, oh, that's where I put the cable. You have the cable, and that's CAN bus, not like OBD or anything, and it connects to that DB9 port in there. And there's also a 12-volt power point for your phone charger or whatever, which is very cool. I'll definitely be using that. And then, of course, you've got the instruments. You've got the really cool reversing throttle, which I absolutely love. All that stuff, pretty typical. The important thing up front is under here, you can see the charger right there. And I believe that is an ESD charger, which means we can use specific firmwares and stuff that I have on my laptop to hopefully reprogram this bike. These did come as lithium versions. This is not that, this is the nickel metal version. They're pretty interchangeable, I think. I think a lot of the parts swap back and forth between them, but what's really cool is the battery box in this is sized so that a lot of car lithium battery modules fit in this. I think Chevy Volt modules fit in here really well, but what fits really, really well is Nissan Leaf modules, because those are really modular batteries. They're just little like sandwich stacks, and you can just put them all together, and then you put some all thread to sort of squish them so that they don't expand. And you can put 19 of those in here, and then it has 100 miles of range, which is really neat. So I don't know if I'm going to go that way. I have some Chevy Spark EV packs sitting around that we might try to throw in here. Those are also modular. I'll have to take those apart and reconfigure them, but that might also be an option. There's also the nuclear option where if I brick everything, then I just buy a whole new motor controller and dashboard, you know, generic DIY grade stuff, and put that in here. 30 kilowatt motor controller is a lot more money than I would want to spend on this, but honestly, you look at the engineering on this thing, goodness gracious. I forgot to mention that when this finally did sell at Biker's Edge, they sold it for $3,000, like $3 grand. I don't know what the MSRP was on this, but for a 2008 era EV, there's no way it was cheap. It'll be on the screen probably if I remember to do that in editing. But let's get this cable plugged in, grab my laptop that's also on the charger, and we'll see if we can at least hook up to diagnostics mode before I take it for a ride, and see what sort of status the battery's in before and after I put, I was gonna say a couple miles, but more like a couple feet on it. Here's a project that's in the works. Putting the old Badland 1,200 pound nylon rope winch on the Ford Ranger. Yeah, right now it's just kind of dangling here. Yeah, that's super secure and whatnot. I need to weld up a bracket to attach this to the frame rails, but yeah, it's very tucked up under the grill, which I love. And I'm going to cut and section the bumper so that the bumper is still on either side of it. So I'm really looking forward to that, but I'm distracted with electric scooter activities. Oh, this is unexpected. I was just messing around, and I got the laptop and I was making sure the drivers were good. It's not able to talk to the charger for some reason, but then when I plugged the charger in to see if I'd wake it up, it started doing something. But it doesn't look, yeah, there's no charging indicator anywhere on here. And Yeah, this is not able to talk to the charger, so I wonder if the charger is actually bad. Just completely broken. See, you know, your throttle, controller temperatures, which, yep, looks like we've got 143-ish volts in the battery. Dashboard, you can see everything that's currently on the dashboard. That's neat. Reverse is the best thing ever. However, quite difficult with just one hand on the bars. Okay. I just noticed that this speedometer is in kilometers an hour. I never noticed that. The inner one is 40. Huh. Wow. Yeah, this whole time I thought that was miles per hour. Oh yeah. The battery meter just immediately dumps as soon as I get on it. But hey, this thing is comfy. Yes. Can we get a little more speed up? 30 kilometers an hour. Look at that. We're boogieing. And twist forward for regen. That's neat.
Well, the plastics all come off really easily. This is about where you saw this thing at on John Ross's channel. I undid this absolutely redonkulous Anderson connector so that we can start to get these batteries pulled out. I also had a great talk with some dudes across the pond about these bikes. Looks like we've got a lot of corrosion here, which is pretty typical. There was like no weather sealing whatsoever on this. Water can just get in, which is kind of a ridiculous oversight considering how well engineered the rest of this is. I mean, like the motor controller is just there chilling. But this is the nickel metal hydride battery pack, and it seems to be modular, so it looks like I can just undo our positive connection here. Don't try this at home. I'm not wearing gloves or high voltage protection. Technically, the pack is split in half now, so there's only 60 odd volts, 70 odd volts of current potential. But
yes,
still,
Jake, but how many amps is that?
all of them.
It's the amps that will kill you.
It's all of the potential amps. So,
My mom says I have potential.
really? I was just told I was special.
Well, that too.
Okay, so that's the positive taken off. Let's get the negative. And then I think we can lift out these top two modules and kind of take this out piece by piece, and then slide this one back and take it out to make room for some new batteries.
What batteries, Jake?
I don't know, man. I got quite a few to choose from.
I got some AA's at home.
Yeah, I was thinking Duracells.
Energizer's where it's at, man.
I've got some like deep cycle 12 volts.
I do too.
Okay, let's open this guy.
We've got the old batteries out of the razors.
Oh, that's a meaty little boy there. Ew, I don't like that. Meaty little boy.
We'll save that one for the Patreon.
I'm on a watch list now. Oh, this is neat. So these are the temperature probes that go bad on all of these. I had a screwdriver in here somewhere. So these will come off. And, you know, there's no potting or anything on these, so they just short out and go bad. And they've got these adorable little Phillips screws going into these 10 mils. Ooh, don't go dropping metal pieces into your high voltage battery. And yeah, it's not a special screw or anything. They just drilled and tapped that thing. That is hilarious. So let's get...
Hey, if it works.
I mean, obviously it doesn't work because they're burned out.
Are they?
Yeah, these thermistors are on caught on fire. That's why the not caught on fire, but burned, and that's why the charger isn't working.
Oh.
I think apparently that is also why the charger wouldn't communicate. So all I really had to do was unplug this plug here and this plug back here, which are the thermistor connections, and then the charger wouldn't be getting stuck hung in an error state, and it would start talking on CAN bus again. But we'll figure all that out once we get this thing put back together. Everything on this bike works except the charger, so worst comes to worst, I just rig up an aftermarket charging solution. Probably won't be as fast as the stock one, but I mean, I can make do. So now they have these nice little nylon strappy doos.
Oh, nice. I was expecting it to be much worse.
And some hot glue. Look at that.
That's adorable.
That is one Vectrix nickel metal hydrate battery module. It's not poorly engineered by any means.
How many 18650s is that?
Yeah. So these are kind of a prismatic style of thing. I think I need to just pull all this off of the out of the hot glue. And I think we'll just do this top layer. I don't think this plastic comes out. I don't know how this box is assembled, but we might just try and lift the whole rest of the pack out as one.
Ah.
And then this whole pack we can take out as one because we can get our hands under it. This is just in here. And there's nothing holding these packs in either. It's just gravity.
Huh.
Like, I mean, there's that plastic piece that goes over the whole thing, but that's not like structural enough. Like if you wrecked at 60 in this,
Batteries everywhere.
it would. I think it would break out of that plastic. Like that plastic's not going to do much.
Like that Queen song. I want to break free.
Okay. Another one of these. Oh gosh, I want to reuse those bus wires or something. Those are dope.
Your go-kart.
Yeah. I did.
Since you have your Goofy.
I did buy a bunch of 4-gauge wire and a crimp tool and a bunch of eyelets. And looking at this, and I went with 4-gauge based on the amp draw, 200 amp peak, 150 amp fuse, but 200 amp peak. And that's less than 4-gauge. What is this? What is this actually? It doesn't say. But I would guess that's 6-gauge.
Oh, hell yeah, you can put some subs in here now.
Right. And then let's see, we're gonna take the, oh, I'm an idiot. This goes with the battery.
Oh.
This is an interpreter board for the
Thermistors.
It goes with the battery. So now I should be able to cause myself great pain and agony, maybe.
Much distress.
You know? Really, what you do is you put a strap here and
put the nuts on it.
What you're supposed to do is there's eyelets that you screw onto here. It's not a whole lot to grab onto, but
Phrasing. Oh, you caught on that. Oh, there's 3 layers.
yeah, that was heavier than I expected.
Yeah, there's 3 layers of battery in that.
Oh, that is a massive battery tray. Good night. Hey, look, a friend.
Rest in peace, homie.
He's alive.
8-legged friend.
Not for long, but he's alive. So that's one out of there. I'm gonna go take some pain meds. What?
And then con me into pulling the other one?
No. I'm gonna go take some pain meds, take a trip to Lowe's, and get a brighter light bulb for in here, so that you guys have even half a chance of seeing more of this. And I kind of have some doubts on our replacement batteries being large enough, like enough capacity. They're definitely not going to have any trouble fitting, but I don't think it's going to be enough battery. We'll see. It's going to be 126-ish volts.
Hey, we could water cool those.
Which is no real need to with how few amps this draws. But Yeah, what everyone does in these is Nissan Leaf cells because they fit, 19 of them fill this whole area up. There's going to be a lot of space left with those installed, and that kind of concerns me. Those packs are kind of modular though, so I could at least fill out the whole length if I wanted to get really in-depth. But for now, I think we're just going to take those 2 packs, wire them up in series in here, and let her eat. At least that'll let us power on the modules and do some more testing. Maybe we take it around the block tonight, I'm not sure. I've got my Windows XP laptop charging up because apparently part of the reason that my software was being weird is because even though it sort of worked in Windows 10, it really needs to be running on XP. So fortunately, I have a period correct laptop. I have my Panasonic Toughbook that is the same era as this, and we're gonna hook that bad boy up. And hopefully we can load layered software on here, and that will let us change various parameters in both the charger and the motor controller, so. Just went for it without like even giving me a chance.
Just gotta,
I don't know if I can afford that hospital bill, my dude.
just gotta show Jake what a properly functioning back looks like. Just kidding. I also have arthritis.
Automatically conditioned 1908.
Oh, so these were like worked on.
Oh, 148 volts. No, that's their fully charged voltage. It annoys me when there's the distinction between fully charged voltage and nominal voltage, and I usually think in nominal voltage. So these were in.
How many volts each are these?
These were installed in parallel. Yeah, because these wouldn't have been in series if that's 148 volts just in one box.
Oh, these trays are all just taped together.
Yeah, it is very weird. There's like no expense spared on like the swing arm, and like the whole chassis and stuff is this really nice aluminum. I mean, that's pretty okay, but then that and no water intrusion protection. Absolutely wild. Also, the project I mentioned earlier, Amber replanting stuff, but also we got the winch installed, 12K Badlands winch on the Ranger, and it is tucked in there real nice, doesn't protrude a whole bunch. Did the relay box relocation in here. I'm gonna get a mud flap and pop rivet it in here so that mud isn't just constantly flinging onto the relay box, because I do have to get to right here is where I plug in the remote. But I am thrilled with this installation overall. It is exactly what I pictured. Nobody really makes winch bumpers or anything for this truck, so I just had to do it myself. And that's just the Universal Harbor Freight mounting plate. Welded some angle iron to it and then drilled some holes, bolted it right onto the frame, so should be strong as strong. And it's a nylon rope, so I need to get a cover for it, but I am stoked. That looks the business, and now I will not be afraid to go anywhere with this truck. I don't need to have people with me to pull me out of sticky situations. I can recover myself, so that's gonna be awesome. So these are what we're putting in here. These are modules out of a Chevy Spark. They're about 60 volts each. I want to get all this water cooling stuff out of the way so that we have a little bit more room to work with. So just gonna grab the TikTok meme snap-on pliers and get these water hoses off. Come on. You got a piece of garbage clamp on one end, and then quick
Piece of garbage on the other end.
Yeah, yes. Okay, so I got to be a little careful here because these bolts I'm undoing now hold the battery together. These are lithium lipo pouch cells, and so they require compression while they're going through a charge-discharge cycle and whatnot. And these pieces of all thread provide that compression. So just gonna nip this back up. How long do you think I'll continue using this broken ratchet before I finally get pissed off and buy a new one?
I didn't even realize it was broken.
Yeah, it's really annoying actually. I'm thinking not too much longer.
Jake buying decent tools.
I would never. Since I did it one at a time, and this there's a metal strap up here compressing the top. And this is kind of spreading the load a little bit side to side. I don't think we're doing too bad. Take this thermistor out of here. Don't need that anymore. And that took a lot of junk off the front of this battery. And then if I wanted to, you know, I would take this completely off and I could start cutting welds on the cells and start pulling cells out and combining them to make a single longer unitized battery module if I wanted to. Instead of putting these two modules in here side by side, I could just make one big module. And that would really hurt my back, putting it in and taking it out.
Well, you just got to give it some nylon little strap handles.
Apparently, goodness. Okay, just... Yeah, we're going German spec.
Good and tight.
Good and tight. We do not currently have a BMS.
That'll be fine.
Anyway, moving on. We will have a BMS at some point. All right.
Hercules.
Okay. I'm gonna tuck my wires kind of up out of the way. Oh yeah, we got a new light. Walmart's finest. Hopefully it's not flickering too much. I'm sure it is.
It's not.
Really?
Not that I can see on here anyway. Yeah.
I know DJI has some sort of anti-flicker magic in there. Okay, negative, positive. All right.
Me struggling with a trunk-mounted battery.
There we go. Oh. There we go.
Nice. Oh, those are... Yeah.
So now my idea is to reuse these to sort of...
I love fine adjustments like that.
The important thing is to ask for forgiveness.
Oh yeah. That's the type of polished...
Tell me this isn't professional?
Yeah.
Boy, it's the most professional-ish you've ever seen. Look at that. Properly mummified. This really sets the room off, I think. Then, on the end, we have bolt this to this.
Is this your...
Positive cable, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I was just thinking a bolt and a nut and then mummify it.
Why don't you just reuse your transport or your stuff there?
What do you mean?
Just put them both on that.
Both to that?
Yeah.
I don't love that idea. I don't know what that connects to.
Oh.
I don't know what all that might be continuous with.
Oh.
127 volts. That should be enough for it to power up. From what I read, the cutoff voltage is 105. At 120, it'll start limiting your top speed. At 110 or 115, it'll start limiting your power output everywhere. But at 127, this thing should be perfectly happy. Maybe not thrilled, but I found a light bulb. Here it is. Seems to work. So basically you just need a reasonable resistive load to slow down the inrush current into the large capacitors in the motor controller. And a lot of the times cars will have a contactor, which is just a big F-off relay or circuit breaker, and that'll have, you know, 100 ohm resistor wired around it, so that when that resistor is the only way for current to flow through, it is restricted. And then when the contactor flips on, then the full fat of the battery can be accessed by everything else. Partially a safety thing and a safety thing. Engineering. It's fun. Engineering's a lot of fun. I love engineering. That's why I dropped out of school for it. Positive, negative, positive, positive, positive. So we're gonna take our light bulb. We're gonna lay him on there. We're gonna touch this. I don't want to touch the glass part of the light bulb. I think it popped the bulb.
Oops.
So this might not have been a success. Those are incandescent. You know what's a bitch though?
They're hot.
They've been on this whole time.
I love Jake's resourcefulness.
Comes from being poor for a long time. There we go.
You nuked that one too. It immediately blew.
I don't think so. That's what it's. Oh. Nope.
No? Okay.
Still good. Okay, that's what that's supposed to look like. So now
That's gonna fall off of there. Spook you?
No, that's bad.
Oh.
That probably fried the controller.
Oh.
Okay.
Moment of truth?
Yep, I'm gonna find out if I completely effed it or not.
Oh. Well, hey.
Cool. Yeah, it's upset about the lack of temperature sensors. I don't know if... kick the kickstand up real quick.
Oh. It's so funny that it has reverse.
Hey, look, we have an actual estimated range now.
Nice.
21 miles. So, and we actually have a battery meter. So, put the kickstand back down. This thing is going to be the Scrotal Annihilator 9000 because we're not going to have a seat.
Oh, you are that excited to ride it. Got it. That is a hog, my boy. What a silly looking thing.
Significantly sillier without a seat.
Once you're balancing, it's fine.
Yeah.
This road is terrible. Oh my god. That is so fast.
It feels real fast when you're sitting here in this precarious position.
Something?
Little sketchy.
Oh?
Well,
Yeah.
No seat.
yeah. But, my gosh, it works.
Sweet.
And it's fast.
Is it?
It's very quick, very entertaining.
Cool. Well, when you got a seat on it, I'll have to ride it.
Yes, definitely. So, yeah, there we go. One day, lithium swap to Vectrix VX1. That is how easy it is.
And we got a winch
Got
installed.
a Ranger winch installed. It was a productive ass weekend for once for me, for crying out loud. Well, I didn't expect that to. Well, I guess I kind of did expect that to work as well as it did, but hey, it did work.
For once, 2 projects went right.
Yeah, now the third project is going to be getting all the software set up on my Windows XP laptop.
I'm gonna leave you to that one.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.